So Vasily Lomachenko stops Nicholas Walters in the eighth round corner stoppage. Well, actually, the stoppage occurred after the seventh round, in a round where Vasily Lomachenko was beating the hell out of Nicholas Walters, which is very shocking to me. He even hurt him, stunned him quite a few times in that fight, where he was just blinding him with his combination speed. As I would predict that Lomachenko had the advantage over Walters. And now, mind you, I picked Lomachenko to win this fight by a slight margin because I thought it'd be a much closer competitive fight, but this thing was a wipeout from the start. Wow. And for Nicholas Walters to quit like that, mind you, he would not have won the fight anyway if it went to the distance, but he still had enough time to try to figure out to make some adjustments. And this is where I have some things that concern me about this particular fight here. Now, Walters, he was well, let me just point out the mistakes he made. One, he usually comes in with the hard guard. He'll try to, find, that way he could see his opponent's punches coming in, so he could give him a chance to counter those punches with his right hook. But Lomachenko was very aware of that, and he took that away by circling the ring. And the mistake that Walters did is allow Lomachenko to use the center of the ring. Now, when you fight a boxer like Lomachenko, who's very awkward, who's very quick, and he can use angles extremely well, and as I mentioned, he can box and fight in angles that you just don't see his punches coming. Very skillful, very masterful. You got to pressure him. And what shocked me is that Walters did not imply the pressure that Orlando Salido did when he fought Vasily Lomachenko. I'm not implying that Nicholas Walters should have applied the tactics that Salido did when he broke him down by fighting dirty, by throwing relentless low blows. But what Walter should have did is that if he wanted to use his range, that's cool. Use your jab because he definitely had he did have the longer reach. He should have tripled the jab, then come in with the left, hooks to the body to slow down the movement of Vasily Lomachenko, because that's what Orlando Salido was successful doing in their fight. And again, I'm not, saying that Walter should have used dirty tactics, but he should have at least pressured him. And what really makes me upset about this is that his corner is like too many people were talking in his corner. You had his dad who was trying to give him advice, trying to tell him how to, fight Lomachenko. Then you have his other trainer from, I think, where was he from? Panama? Yeah, from Central America, Panama, trying to give him instructions, which is his head trainer. His dad had no business talking to him. His dad should have just allowed his head trainer to do the talking and allow him to dictate how to fight Lomachenko. So he was just distracted by the corner, and he just couldn't figure out Lomachenko point blank. And there was one point in the round that Lomachenko figured Walters out to the point that he even intimidated Walters. I think it was in the fourth round. We're closing seconds at the end of the fourth round. Lomachenko put his hands down. He felt that, I could do whatever I want with this guy. I don't need to put my hands up. This guy ain't got no chance to hit me. He's too slow now. I'm breaking him down. So Walters was giving him distance, and Lomachenko just stood there, put his hands down, and wait for Walters to come after him. And Walters just stood there, and he didn't do nothing. And of course, the crowd booed because the two fighters just gave away the last 10 seconds of the round by doing nothing. But it was a clear Lomachenko round, and Lomachenko walked back to his corner, and he told the crowd, "Okay, be quiet, y'all, but be quiet. I'm gonna close the show," which he did. And to me, it was a masterful performance. You got to give him credit for this. This was a very, very masterful and great performance. And it was unexpected in a way. Some people thought it was a 50-50 fight. Many, I think, experts thought it was a 50-50 fight. I thought it was somewhat a 50-50 fight, but again, I did favor Lomachenko to win it. So, I mean, he was a favorite going into the fight anyway, but, it was not that he wasn't that much of a favorite. So, needless to say, good victory for him. Now, I know there's been talk about him moving up the pound-for-pound rankings, which I think he would, but he's not going to move up that much. So, he's definitely not going to be pound-for-pound number one. No, he's not going to go, not even close. Yes, he gave a dominating performance, but I don't think he's going to move up that much. I don't think he's going to move past Andre Ward. I really doubt that. But hey, anything can happen these days. How Ring Magazine, how they work their rankings these days is pretty screwy. But needless to say, yeah. And speaking of Andre Ward, as I noted in my previous video, my quick overview and preview and prediction of the fight, I noted that 2 of the 3 judges who scored this fight were also assigned to score, or who scored the Ward Kovalev fight was also assigned to score this fight as well. And all the judges, I believe, had Lomachenko winning all the rounds. So what does that tell you? So even before the stoppage, he was on his way to a victory anyway. So there was no home cooking or no controversy going on. So even Adelaide Bird, I believe, was judging the fight and had it all for Lomachenko. So I could be wrong about it. But again, yeah, this was a one-sided fight. No controversy there. So the judges, to me, that vindicates what the call, the two of those 3 judges that scored the Ward Kovalev fight made the right call. So to me, that's a vindication for Ward and Kovalev on the scorecard. I know most of you going to disagree with that assessment, but that's just my take on it. Now, what's next about Lomachenko? There is Javier Fortuna. I don't know. I don't think Fortuna can win that fight. Salido's still hanging around, and believe me, I don't know. Lomachenko is deadly now. He's improved much better ever since that first Salido fight. So I think he'll figure Salido out. He won't allow him to pressure him, like he did in their second fight. There's Gary Russell Jr. He's not even ranked in that division, but he did say he was going to move up and chase Lomachenko. So Russell Jr. is very quick too. So I think after the first Lomachenko fight, he learned his lesson. So he's a better fighter now. So that'd probably be a more competitive fight if Russell Jr. decides to step up. There's Jisrael Corrales. Uchiyama is still hanging around, but I don't see Uchiyama winning that fight. Then there's who's the other one? Who's the other guy in there? Francisco Vargas. Yeah. Now that'd be a hell of a fight. But again, I think Lomachenko. I mean, that'll be a competitive fight. Vargas will pressure him. But again, you gotta, the way to stop a boxer puncher, you gotta break him down in the body. You gotta pressure him, and that's why. And again, this is what Walters failed to do. And yeah, very interesting, very interesting. So let me know what your thoughts are. Comment, share, subscribe. Signing off. Peace.